Welcome back to Inside City Hall. Earlier this week, we spoke with the controversial DJ, radio DJ, known as Star, who repeatedly attacked our next guest and explained why, get this, he's suing him for defamation. Here to respond to the tough talk is Queens City Councilman John Liu. Welcome back to the program.
Good to be here. Before
you respond to the defamation suit, you came on the program with the mother of the 4-year-old child. And for folks that may not be familiar with this, Star goes on his radio show and says that, quote, he wants to do an R. Kelly to the daughter of a rival DJ, DJ Envy, and he offered $500 to anyone to give out the school information for this 4-year-old child. And R. Kelly allegedly meaning, in this case, sexual acts and urinating on this baby. And so we asked him about this, and he basically told us anyone that really knows him, that really listens to his show, knows that he was not serious. Let's take a look.
I hear you, but I don't believe what you're saying in regards to, do I think something could have happened to anyone that over the radio I've said would bring physical damage to them. I don't think anyone who listens to me, who knows my history, would think that of me.
Your reaction, Councilman?
I'm gratified. I'm gratified that this guy is now going after me instead of little children. What he said in May over the airwaves repeatedly, talking about how he wanted to sexually assault a little child and perform all sorts of deviant acts on a little girl. It was beyond repulsive. The words cannot imagine, and I can't bear to repeat what he talked about in graphic terms. And so, like I said, I'm gratified because now this guy apparently is going on TV talking about how he wants to do a television show, he's writing a book, yada, yada, yada. The important thing is that he is off the public airwaves and no longer able to make these kinds of sick threats against little children. And he's now pursuing a new job because right now he's unemployed.
Do you see him, and he told us repeatedly that he is coming back, and he would not answer the question of whether or not Clear Channel, the company that owns the radio station, is still paying him?
Well, that's a very good point. And in fact, there's been a whole lot of fuss about this guy Torain. You know, it's really not about him. Any stooge could go on the radio, say a lot of stupid things, and get paid the big bucks for doing so. The real culprit in this matter is Clear Channel Corporation. You're talking about a corporate giant who purposefully sought out Torain, a guy like Torain, could have been anybody, who will say the most outrageous things, push the envelope further and further and further on public airwaves, all for what? To make more money. Clear Channel went after Torain and hired him for $17 million shortly after this guy was fired from another radio station for making all sorts of ridiculous comments and broadcasts. And Clear Channel paid him the big bucks so that, in the hopes that Clear Channel would make even more money and make more profit. And so this is the entity that is responsible ultimately for what happened in May over our public airwaves and for the threat to this child that was enunciated by this man.
We asked him about the charges, the criminal charges, and here's what Star had to say relating to that.
When charges are trumped up on you and you have to decide, well, do I fight this, do I fight that, do I accept this, do I accept that, how far are you willing to go?
Well, if you're an innocent man and you didn't do anything wrong, why not fight it?
In the real world, that sounds nice, what you just said, but I don't think you really believe that yourself.
Okay, he's obviously referring to the fact that the district attorney of Manhattan reached an agreement where Star says he's been cleared. But it's my understanding with this agreement that you basically, if you stay out of trouble for 6 months, then the record is sealed. It's done at that point.
Right. Effectively, this man is on probation for 6 months, in addition to having to do community service.
But he says he's cleared. He told us he was cleared.
The district attorney's statement was that they did not want to drag the little girl through a lengthy trial process. And so in the end, the district attorney's best judgment, according to their own statements, was that it was better to settle the matter with Torain, make him do community service, and put him on probation for 6 months. And so that's exactly what happened here. The statement that I think he made some kind of statement about the district attorney and the judge letting him off. No such thing happened. In fact, he took what he thought was the best deal, and that included community service and probation for 6 months. Now, what we really, and to say that the charges were trumped up, I mean, you're talking about a broadcast that is going out to literally hundreds of thousands of people, which that itself is an issue for another day. But hundreds of thousands of people are listening to this, listening to how this fellow wants to perform the most deviant acts on a little child. And here's the criminal part. The fact that he offered a large cash reward for anybody who would tell him information about where the little girl goes to school. That little girl's school, it's my understanding they had to change the security procedures because of this broadcast. There was a real impact here. And so to say the charges were trumped up, I mean, all it takes is one lunatic out there who gets into his head that, well, hey, here's an exciting thing to do, or, you know, maybe I can get the reward if I just simply track down the girl's school or the girl's whereabouts. I mean, it's a danger. And in my opinion, this was a clear endangerment to the welfare of this child.
We want you to hold your thoughts for just 1 second and respond to the defamation. You're being sued now. Right. Star, he made his comments about the little girl, but he is suing you. Right. Hold your thoughts for just 1 second. It is time for a break. We will have much more with the councilman in just a moment. And